Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Kindred, One Business Initiative series, brought to you by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government under the leadership of distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma. My name is Kenneth Amechi, and I'm a professor of business and sustainable development at the University of Edinburgh in the UK. I also hold a chair in sustainable finance at the European University Institute in Florence. And I'm the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to what will be an interesting session because it's all about money. We've talked about the One Kindred, One Business Initiative for a long time now, and people keep asking us questions about who will give us money. So today we have a chance to see where the money can come from. But before we start, I would like to invite my co-moderators, Professor Jude Nzako and Dr. Oke, to say hello to you.
Hi, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Interesting day, as you said. Everybody wants money, and particularly the ÓKÓBÍ participants, they need money. So it's promised to be an interesting day. So viewers, I welcome you to today's webinar. I hope you sit back and enjoy. My name is Professor Jude Nzako. I'm the Director General for Imo State Investment Promotion Agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah,
Dr. Oke.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Oke Anukwem, former Commissioner for Special Duties in Imo State. Honestly, this is a life-changing program for ÓKÓBÍ businesses. I therefore advise that all those who are hooked up to the program, they should listen attentively to know how they can access funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you are new to the One Kindred, One Business Initiative program, I would like to play this jingle to help you appreciate what it is all about.
Susie, name I will give you some. What you with alone? No, your company. You see one name, Badu Dodo. Oh, you want Royal Company with her. Namuke, ÓKÓBÍ. Eleke ÓKÓBÍ. Eko to penye maso. Ahu shele manya. Ahu mchorenye maka. Ya bune inu be maka ÓKÓBÍ. Ngwa gente. ÓKÓBÍ watu matoma gọọmenti hiwere. Iji kochapu obiam na akpụ ndị mmadụ isi aghara aghara. ÓKÓBÍ ga-ekewapụta ohere ọrụ. Maka gị o, maka ọha obodo gị niile. Naanị legharị anya gburugburu gị. Chepụta nnọọ ihe ọbụla gị na ụmụnne na ụmụnna gị, ndị enyi ma ọ bụ ndị obodo gị nwere ike ịgbakọta aka mepụta ya mma dịka ịzụ ọkụkọ, azụ, oke bekee, ịkọ pineapple, ịsụ mmanụ nkwụ ma ọ bụ mmanụ aṅụ na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ dị iche iche. Unu hazicha usoro eji eme ya ka ọ bụrụ ihe ga-amịpụta ego. Unu agbapụzie ya ọsọ ga-akpọtụrụ onye ji ọkwa Chief Economic Advisor n'ọchịchị steeti Imo. Ọ ga-agbazi unu olu nye unu ntụziaka hazie ụkpụrụ a ga-eji mee ya ka ọ kwụsị ike ma mịta ezi mkpụrụ. Ọ ga-enyekwa aka n'ikewapụta ohere ọrụ nye ndị na-achọ ọrụ n'obodo. Biko nye m akara ekwentị ha ka mkpọ ahụ ozugbo. Ngwa were ihe dedata ya 07013512035 07013512035 ma ọ bụ 09114360076 09114360076. Ịkpọrọ ha ị ga-enweta ọsịsa maka ihe niile gbasara ÓKÓBÍ. ÓKÓBÍ wa atụmatụ bụ ịgba Shared Prosperity Government nke distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma. ÓKÓBÍ, ụmụnna wike, ọwụ ha agha.
So thank you and welcome back. Andrew, please, can you introduce yourself to our audience and say hello to them before we start?
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Again, and thank you, everybody, for having us here. My name is Andrew Gome. I work with Bank of Industry. Our office covers Anambra and Imo State, and we are partners with the ÓKÓBÍ family. That's why we're here. Okay. So you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Prof. I'm Chibuzo Oji. I also work with the Bank of Industry, and just like Andrew said, we cover Anambra State and Imo State, and we hope that through this medium we should be able to enlighten people in Imo State, businesses in Imo State of opportunities they can exploit from the bank. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, Andrew, I take it that you don't speak Igbo, or do you?
No, I don't. But I could pick 1 or 2 words, but Chibuzo does better.
Okay. So Chibuzo will fill in that gap because we are talking to a broad range of audience. So we'd like it to get to the grassroots. So if you want to speak English or Pidgin English or Igbo, please, by all means, feel free to do so. So let me start with you, Andrew, then. Tell us more about the Bank of Industry. What is it all about?
Thank you, Prof. Bank of Industry primarily gives financial assistance to those businesses involved in value addition. Well, I said primarily because we also do what we call business advisory. So it's not just to give finance, you should be able to help advise those businesses on how to improve their lot. Because we're meeting with different, I give an example. There's a poultry in Lagos that is doing so well. Why not, instead of reinventing the wheel in Imo State, you just bring the knowledge from supervision of that business to the new business so that the businesses don't have to go all the way around. That's what we call business advisory. So we just try to support you to ensure that you create there's empowerment, you create jobs, and people are employed. That's what we do for short in Bank of Industry.
Okay, that's fine. But you use the word of phrase value addition, right? What does that mean? Value addition.
Okay,
to a
again,
yeah.
because Prof, you're giving me leverage. No, we just talk like this, eh? That value addition part, eh? If you plant cassava, will not help you. But if you want turn cassava to garri, we will help you. If you want turn cassava to starch, we will help you. If you plant the palm oil fruit, we not help. But if you want turn palm oil to if you want turn palm fruit to palm oil, where you need digesters and all those small equipment, we will help you. Any business when you change the primary raw material to another thing before you sell them, with what they call value addition.
Okay, that's fine. It makes sense. And what you're trying to do there is to differentiate yourself from, say, Bank of Agriculture, because yours is Bank of Industry. And industry is about manufacturing, it's about making things, it's about adding value, converting something from one state to the other. And in order to do that, you may need technologies, you may need tools and techniques. And the Bank of Industry then comes in to support you with the equipment you need. That's the core of your function. Is that correct?
Yes, bro. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, Chibuzo, tell us about this interesting idea you have to support both group-owned businesses, in this case, our own ÓKÓBÍ businesses, as well as individual micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So the Bank of Industry has come up with a very wonderful package that can be exploited by small-scale, medium-scale businesses, nano businesses, okay, that are into production, into processing, of different types of products. It's called the RAPID program. RAPID meaning Rural Area Program on Investment for Development. Okay, so the idea of RAPID is that we want to get funding to people in the rural communities, to businesses in the rural communities, to get money to businesses that are in disadvantaged locations where the economic flow of wealth has not gotten to, but there are businesses there struggling to build up. So I want to get those fundings to them. Especially it is the program becomes more germane right now because of the economic trend, where we have seen that businesses are really struggling because of the harsh business environment. So we are trying to come in to hedge that gap. Okay, so the Bank of Industry has looked at it and said, look, we need to reach these businesses, and we have earmarked about 3.7 billion to go into funding, okay, of businesses in various states. Of that, and of that 3.7, we are looking at reaching each and every state in the country, Imo State included. Each state has 100 million, and each business can get up to 10 million as loan to fund their business concerns. Thank you.
Okay, so in that sense, if Imo State has a quota of, say, 100 million, and you can give up to 10 million, that means that, in essence, you can have 10 entities get that 100 million. But since not everyone will get up to 10 million, so you also have a chance of giving more people money, right? In that sense, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are right, Professor. You are right, Professor.
Okay, brilliant. So,
sorry, Prof.
Yeah.
If I go see add to what my colleague talk,
Mm.
this particular rapid na special product because the interest rate na 5%. Normal rate when we dey give our customers na 10%, but this one is special. 5% is what we are giving to this product. And we will spread the loan for a tenure of about 3 years. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, fine. So if somebody wants to repay, just give us a sense of how much will this person be repaying within this period. So, our people are also sometimes very shy of taking loans, right? Because they don't want anyone to come after them. They prefer to do their own thing. But taking loan is not a bad thing, right? Because it helps your business as long as you have a good business plan and you're able to show how you can repay. So, but let's assume I borrow 5 million naira for the sake of argument, and it's over a 3-year period. How much will I be paying when the time comes for me to start repaying? Maybe something you can work out while maybe Chibuzo is answering another question. So, Andrew,
okay, for that, quickly done. If we were supposed to do a 5 million naira loan,
yeah,
for 3 years, 3 years is 36 months. So I'll say we propose maybe a moratorium of 6 months. So the loan will be paid itself will be paid over 30 months. So you'll be expected.
Okay, hold on. What is a moratorium so that people go understand?
Okay, moratorium, like for us, for BOI, not be when you buy a machine, you go use it. For person for Owerri now, if you go buy a machine for Onitsha, go buy a machine for Lagos. The person go, when you pay for the machine finish, they go bring and come from where you buy them. They go install them, they will come test run them before you begin work. That period when they give you to buy the equipment, fix the equipment, test run them, now they call moratorium period. That one, you will only pay interest. You not go pay the principal back. Now only interest you go pay. So with this example,
okay, just hold on. What I said, let me translate it to our people. Or if you want to start a bit, you don't immediately loan. They give you 6 months on wishing before Hasigi back the loan. But in that period of 6 months, you can acquire the interest, but not Ishiagogi. But it's after the 6th month, that is over, from the 7th month, Gakuwa both Omorongwa and Ishiago Hanyereki. I think I've done justice to that. But let me bring in Professor Judu Zako before I go back to you, Andrew.
Okay, thanks, Prof. Just to thank Chibuzo and Andrew, I think this rapid program, which you just introduced, sounds quite good. At 5% interest rate, that is really good. But the other concern that any of the applicants will have is how easy would it be for them to access this loan? I know the Bank of Industry has not been too favorable to Imolites in the past. I hope that will change now. Now, this loan, I take it that it's not for startups. And I also believe that, as always, you're going to need guarantor for this. So apart from these two things I've just mentioned, are there other requirements that applicants will need to provide before they can access this loan? That's one question. And my second question is, when you give this loan, for what purpose? Will you give this loan for additional purposes, or is it for just equipment purchase? So viewers would like to know if you'll be able to give them loan to pay for staff salaries, to pay their rent, and so on and so forth, or is it just for equipment purchase? And also, if it's for equipment purchase, what will be the loan to value? If an equity person is processing Gary and the equipment is about 10 million naira, would you be able, assuming he satisfies all your requirements, would you be able to give that person 10 million naira, or would you want that person to contribute some money to make up that equipment purchase price? And my final question will be, I really appreciate the aspect of you giving business advice to interested parties. Do you charge for this service, or is it free of charge? Again, it is very important for viewers to understand this, because some of them are not able to get this loan, not because they are not qualified for it, but because some of them do not understand exactly how to put the applications together or how to face you. So if you're able to give them this advice free of charge, that will help them. That's what I have for that. Thank you.
So you have 4 questions in one there. So who will go for it? Andrew or?
Okay, I will go first, and I would like to start with the last part. If you walk into our office and you discuss your business with any of us, it's free of charge, and we will guide you. For the loan unbonding process, we realized about 8-10 years ago that there was need for us to have consultants who can help the big businesses package their loan. That's why we now have what we call accredited business service providers. On this call today, we have one of them that we work with. So that person is accessible to you because it's on this call. For equipment, if, for instance, that's your third question, the loan amount is not enough to procure the equipment, there will be need for equity so that we can ensure that this equipment are gotten. So what do we do? If we are going to buy an equipment of 12 million, for instance, we would expect you to give us the 2 million before we disburse the 12 million directly to the supplier. We will not disburse 10 million to the supplier so that you can go and look for 2 million and tell us the business failed because we didn't find the 2 million. When we are ready and you've met your requirement and we're ready to disburse, we will tell you, bring your 2 million. So we ensure that this money goes to the vendor so that there will be no reason for default.
Sorry, hold on there. What if the equipment costs 10 million naira, so no addition? So that's what Prof is asking. Would you still expect this person to contribute to that?
No, not at all. If it's 10 million naira and there's no need for addition, he doesn't need to contribute. Already, before he came to us, these businesses would have expended some monies to buy their land, to buy their small equipment. They put in some equity. So we take that too as some equity that they brought in. But it is only when we go beyond the loan amount, we will need to bring it between that range. That's when equity might come in.
Okay, fine.
Can I step in a bit? Okay, so as he said, we The fund is essentially for purchase of equipment and raw material. Okay, so by the design, the business cannot survive on just these two things. They will have to pay salaries, they will have to have a space where these equipment will be. So already the business is already bringing some form of equity into its operation. Okay, so we would not ask them to bring additional equity towards purchase of the equipment unless the equipment that they want to acquire is more than the 10 million cap. Okay, then the question on requirements for accessing the fund. Very important at the application stage, the applicant must have BVN and must have his NIN. Okay, and the names on that he will use to register the BVN and the NIN has to tally. If not, it will not be able to validate. So that is a key. Of course, you should have a business plan. There is no business without a plan. So you should have a business plan. I think those are the basic things for him to come on board.
What if it's a group?
Yes, the fund is accessible to both business enterprises and cooperative societies. So
does
yes,
it mean that every member of that group will provide a BVN and NIN?
No, sir. The principal members, every group has its principal members. The principal member, maybe the secretary or maybe the chairperson, will be the one that would whose BVN and NIN will be validated for the application to continue.
Okay, great.
Sorry, Prof, the loans for enterprises and cooperatives, what if an individual is not a cooperative, it's not a registered business, i.e. limited liability or registered, but he has a business that is trading under his name, would you still qualify?
That person will not qualify.
All right, so they have to be a limited liability, a registered enterprise, or cooperative.
No, for this, a business name, an enterprise, or a cooperative. Business name, enterprise, or cooperative. Yeah, not limited liability.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine, and it also makes a lot of sense because we have been encouraging people to register their ÓKÓBÍ businesses. I know a good number of people ask us, where will the money come from? But as they say, luck meets the prepared. So those who are prepared, who have all these things, are those who benefit from this facility. So, and there are many more of things like this that will come our way. So this is a time for you. If you have not started your ÓKÓBÍ business, please start it, because you encounter opportunities, and don't be deterred if you don't have money today and you have good ideas. You know, as they say, ideas rule the world. So by all means, I encourage you to consider starting up an ÓKÓBÍ today. You can never know who will come tomorrow with funding. So, but before I continue, let me invite Edward. Edward is a business development service provider for Bank of Industry. So, Edward, you want to say hello to our audience and say what you do.
Okay. Good morning, Prof. Good morning, my fellow panelists, and also our friends from Bank of Industry, my partners, Andrew and Chibuzo. You're welcome. My name is Edward Emeribe. I happen to be one of the business development service providers for Bank of Industry, covering Southeast. Our primary responsibility are awareness creation, documentation support, training, and supervisory roles. At every point in time, just like Andrew mentioned in submission, he mentioned the fact that By the time you upload your information on the portal and your business is selected, there will always be need for them to request for some other information. That is particularly where our role as business development service provider comes in. We will support you in getting the necessary documentations in place, where your business plan is prepared by you, or who can also come in to help you to prepare your business plan and every other information you will require to enable your applications schedule.
Edward, hold on. I'm going to hear Prof. Zako Juro Chipozo and Andrew, if they do charge for their services. And Andrew carefully suggested that people like you help to fill the gap. Giji merende madu ihe, ijana hego.
Yes, Prof. We check them.
I know they're going to charge. How much? Just give us an idea without being specific. On your chory package, on your chory email apply for this loan we are now. That could take it. And for help. And let him really charge the person.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Our charges are properly regulated by BOI. You are not allowed to charge people discriminately. BOI are also stated out how we can charge you.
Okay, but what is it? What does it entail? I mean, you can use an example. It doesn't need to be specific. You can say, yeah, my project in a veteran will here 1 million naira. I charge a percentage of that.
These activities, we can charge with 50,000 naira for any service. Prepare the business plan and also supervise you. Maybe I'm sure that maybe you get a loan without 50,000 naira.
Okay, so if an ÓKÓBÍ business now is interested in applying and they approach you, you may charge them like 50,000 naira to put the application together. Is that the point?
Yes.
Okay. Beyond,
yes, also prepare their business plan for them.
Okay. Beyond putting the application together, are there other services you can offer to ÓKÓBÍ businesses as well as small and medium-sized enterprises in Imo State?
Yes, in terms of training and awareness creation in any area that want to support their business. So we're also available for that.
Okay. Onye chọrọ ịchọta gị or onye hụrụ ya na-achọ reach out to you. How the person contact you?
We have offices at 168 Ikenebule out. Or where?
Our company go again.
Limitless Stable Services.
Sorry, it didn't come out.
Limitless Stable Services.
Limitless stable
services. Stable services.
Okay, stable, limitless stable services. Okay, and it's not an Ikenebule. What number they gone? The address.
168 Ikenebule at Owerri.
Okay.
Very close to First Bank at Ikenebule.
Okay. And when number I'm getting tag.
Yes, my number is 0803 898 4626. 0803 898 4626.
So on your lap there, we got, just for you to help them, so they can reach you on that number. And the name of the company is Limitless Stable. And they said it's 168 Ikenebu layout. Yeah. Okay, good. Dr. Keanukwem, I don't know, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a few questions to ask the Bank of Industry guy. First of all, when they mentioned that if you apply for the loan, that they usually pay directly to the suppliers of the machinery. But my question is, the machine will not run itself. Sometimes you may have to buy fuel, you may have to buy gas, you may have to service the machines and all that. So if by chance I am applying for a loan of 10 million, and in the 10 million, the Bank of Industry is able to pay for my machinery to the tune of about 7 million. The extra money, how is it handled? Because they spoke as though the loan is for machines alone. But there are other running costs. So I want to know how they would handle such situations after paying for machines and the rest of the money. How do they give it to the borrower? That is one. Then two, I want to know their style of monitoring. Because giving a loan is not just enough. Because whoever gets the loan must be monitored. So I want to know their sequence, the way they do it. Can the man exactly what they are going into? Also, delay, if there are delays in repayment of the loan, because I know that after the moratorium, there's a sequence for the repayment. If somebody fails in a month or two, what happens? These are the three questions I'm asking. Thank you, Prof.
Brilliant questions. Chibuzo and Andrew, what do you think?
Thank you for your questions. Like Chibuzo mentioned earlier, our facilities are for the machines and raw material. If, for instance, we'll buy you the machine and we would put some money towards raw materials. But we would expect also that you have equity to support some of this daily stuff. You cannot get money for everything. Then it's no longer your business. Then you're working for the bank. But we will give you facilities to help you purchase the machines and also purchase raw materials for you. But with the day-to-day running, we believe from you using this machine, you should be able to generate some funds for day-to-day running. Monitoring, it's an integral part of our operations. And like if you go to sleep, your customer too will go to sleep. But by the time it's getting to the second month and the man is not paying me, I'm sure I would have been visiting. I'll not start calling his guarantor. Because the whole essence is that you are guaranteeing we need everybody to be able to put as much pressure. We would visit. But if we are visiting and we are saying that this business is supposed to be paying, is willing but unable, we would have to now call his guarantor to say, please talk to this person you guaranteed. Please help us put some pressure on it to ensure that this money comes back. The last question, if you might remind me, what's it about again?
If there is a delay in repayment, what happens?
Like I said, if there's delay in payment, we would have to call the guarantor to help us put in some pressure on this client before we call in the guarantee.
Okay. Dr. Kanukwem, have your questions been addressed? Okay, fine. Before we, hello, who wants to come in? Professor Jude,
I just want to shed more light on the area of monitoring.
Okay.
We don't just give loans to people and go to sleep. Okay, we'll be communicating with them regularly, visiting them regularly. So even before we get to that point, for a genuine business, before we get to that point where they say, oh, in month 7 or 8, I can no longer pay this loan, there would have been red flags. We would have known that, oh, this is the trend of this business. We would have tried to see how can we remedy the situation. That's by rendering advice, business advice, to say, oh, God, this is the problem we are noticing in your business. Try doing this, try doing that, so that we can sustain the repayment and the loan doesn't go bad and becomes a burden to you. So there will be that communication in the process of monitoring. Of course, there will still be facilities that may want to go bad. And it is only when there is absolutely nothing else we can do that we now say, guarantor, please come in. Or for customers that or beneficiaries that they feel that it's their birthright and they don't want to pay. then we have to intervene, call the guarantor to intervene and start talking to this person and trying other forms of moral suasion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you're just joining us, this is the One Kindred, One Business initiative brought to you by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government under the leadership of distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma.
Chichi baby, now you be this longest time oh. See as you dey shine. E be like say you don get job for oil company oh. Oil company job ke? I no get any oil company job oh. This shine wey dey see me shine so, na as a result of ÓKÓBÍ. Which one be ÓKÓBÍ now? Abeg go sew for your babe oh. I need help bad. Haba, now you never hear about ÓKÓBÍ. ÓKÓBÍ na One Kindred, One Business initiative wey go help wipe out poverty and create employment for you and everybody for your community. Check around you now. Use your sense. Calculate any business where you go fit set up together with your kinsmen, community members, and even your friends, whether na rice farming, palm kernel shells, poultry, fishery, pineapple production, rabbit keeping, oil production, honey production, plus other etc. Set them up as joint business with your family and friends. Then reach out to the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to Imo State Government. Him go guide you, direct you as you go take do this business go work well, bring ogbonge profit and create employment for we people. How I go fit get them for phone abeg? Oya call this number. You go get all the answers where you need about ÓKÓBÍ. 0701-351-2035. 0701-351-2035. Or you call 0911-436-0076. 0911-436-0076. Or you book appointment to get meeting to find out everything about ÓKÓBÍ. ÓKÓBÍ na the feature of the shared prosperity agenda of the Executive Governor of Imo State, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. ÓKÓBÍ, ụmụnna wike, ọwụ ya agha. It's green for me.
Okay, welcome back. Professor Jude, you wanted to say something. Over to you.
Yes, thanks, Prof. This time my question is from the underwriting angle for Andrew and Chibuzo. Andrew, if I know, I may be wrong, that if I apply for 10 million naira loan and I have a business, you may not be able to approve 10 million naira. It may approve less. Can you tell our viewers, if you can, what is the main consideration that will determine the amount of loan or the limit of loan you can approve for that if a particular borrower if he applies for 10 million naira? Is there anything concerning his business that will persuade you to limit the amount of money you can approve for that particular borrower?
For this particular facility, there's a cap of 10 million. So yes, I have a customer who wants to buy a machine and he wants raw materials. And he insists that he must buy raw materials for 4 million. And the equipment he wants to buy is going to the market, and based on the current inflation, the equipment is now 7.5 million. So when I ask, which one is more important to you? Do you want us to get this equipment to help your production? So if he says yes, we now say, if we get the equipment of 7.5 million, we can only do 2.5 for machines. For raw materials. Again, we look at the person's cash flow, for instance. If I see what you are producing and I have an idea of your number of outputs, I can now do an estimate of what will come in. And I say your repayment can only support this amount. I would advise you that it will be your best interest to collect X amount because this is what your repayment can support. Oftentimes, most businesses are always thinking on the rosy side. We always act on caution. If I feel your business can support a loan of 6 million, not that you cannot do 8 million if you use all the rosy figures. We stay safe on 6 million. If you do better in sales than 6 million, it can go to profit for you. Those are the things we look at.
Right.
I hope I've been able to address the question.
Yes. Just to underline it there, that you will consider the business cash flow before you make your decision. And most often, the cash flow of the business will determine the amount of money that you're able to grant that particular application.
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct? Yeah. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. So interesting conversation there. So Chioma, I'm coming to you right away. So you help businesses. You're also a farmer yourself. Do you want to say hello to the audience? Hello to the audience.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Chioma Perpetua. I'm a farmer, an integrated farmer. All right, and I'm into production, processing, and packaging. And for this particular discussion, the focus is on processing and packaging. And particularly, I am very excited because I've had challenges in processing, especially in getting equipment. So seeing these opportunities, wow. And also, it's because I know for group-owned businesses, which also I am part of, it's a very good opportunity for us to scale up. Okay, so I'm enjoying the discussions and I'm learning. At the same time, I have questions. Okay, I have questions to ask. Okay, because I'm going to ask as a food processor who has been in the field for some years. Okay, I process chicken, I process fish, I process grains. Okay, I process agri products also. So I have need for a lot of equipment. Okay, but recently I realized that I have need mostly for equipment that processes chicken. Now the question is this: like somebody was saying, one of the UI personnel was saying that if you come and you have to check what the person is doing, and then if the person needs, if the person business is worth what the person is applying for, then does it mean that you would have to come for an assessment first before this loan is given? That's number one question. Number two question is, actually, I started applying for this loan, but then I got to a point and I told one of my colleagues, I was like, nah, here wahala dey. Okay. And that was the second aspect, and which actually I believe the consultant actually is going to be coming in. But it would be great to know, to see if individuals can do this by themselves. Okay, because someone who is looking for a loan may not have all the money to pay someone else, like up to 50 or 100 or 200,000 to pay.
No, before you continue,
What point
did you get that?
Sir?
You said you got to a point in the application process.
Yeah.
Challenge. Was that?
Yeah. After the first stage, the stage where they were asking guarantors organization, guarantors BVN, NIN, and even more interesting is that the guarantor must have an international passport. Okay. Does that therefore mean that if one doesn't have a guarantor that has an international passport, he or she cannot access it? Is it invariably meaning that everyone who wants to, or not everyone, but majority of the persons who want to access this loan would need to go through the consultants? What if they don't have the funds to actually go through this consultant? Is there an alternative? If the guarantor doesn't have an international passport, is there an alternative to that? Okay, I think these are two basic questions I would want to ask.
Okay, what was the first question again?
The first question is assessment. Yes, it's assessment. Yes. Okay, great. Yes, and concerning that assessment, what if the ÓKÓBÍ business, okay, is a startup? Because in assessing, you would want to know cash flow, you want to know the market. What if the ÓKÓBÍ business or the group-owned business is a startup and they have not really gone into the market, but they have their plan? Okay, you know, usually starting is not very easy. Okay, so maybe when you come to assess and eventually you see that probably this ÓKÓBÍ business is just starting up, they don't have the cash flow yet, would they still be able to access this loan?
Okay, fine. That's three questions there. Andrew and Chibuzo, please.
Okay, let me go. I will say this, there's no way you would apply to BOI for a loan that will not visit your business premises to see what you are doing. We have to match the application you submitted with what we see on ground. So that will visit the project is a must. Let me just put it that way. So you said two things. If we visit and it's a startup, we can always do projected cash flow. But there was something you said. If we visit and they don't have the market, it's a red flag. If you don't have understanding of the market that you want to produce or you want to sell your goods, it's a red flag. Why do I want to risk the money? So we give money to startups, but we need to assess that this startup needs to convince us that they know what they are going through. Then we can always give out money. But it's just like the
So just to
challenge
confirm that, Andrew, you're saying you can support startups. Is that correct?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, but the onus is more on the startup to convince. Because when you go to an existing business that is already producing and is selling, you require less to be moved. But for a startup, you will not have to start asking questions. Where are you getting your raw materials for? Who is going to be your production manager? How would you get your goods to the market? Which market are you selling to? And all those questions they must be able to answer. Otherwise, the investor will not be convinced. I'm not saying BOI. All of us on this platform at one point or the other might be investing.
Yeah.
So we need to be convinced before we put our money into it.
Okay. And then
the issue with the international passport, we would take any acceptable photo ID, acceptable international passport, driver's license, voter's ID card, all that will be taken. Please. So it must not necessarily be international passport. A driver's license that is still valid, the voter's ID card, we will take them. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So let's even explore this question about people, your business development service providers. So people like Edward. Do you give preferential treatment to applications coming through them?
Okay, thank you, Prof, for your question. Madam Choma, let me address your last question. It is not compulsory to come through a service provider. It is never compulsory. And Edward doesn't like this part when I say it's not compulsory. If you feel you can put your submission together and come to us, why not? There is no, sir, an application is an application. We just want a complete application. And oftentimes when it comes to through the BDSPs, the application is more complete than when it comes. So there's no special preference. We'll acknowledge all applications and treat them accordingly.
Okay, there is also a question on Facebook where somebody is asking, I think this question is specifically to add Edward, but I think Andrew and Chibuzo can also answer it. What's the guarantee? So would Edward need to guarantee anything? You see my point, right? So if I go through him, what's the guarantee that I will succeed? I mean, is this a gamble? Trying to gamble with 50,000 naira for his support. So Edward, if you can answer that, that's fine. But otherwise, Andrew and Chibuzo, I guess they regulate what you do. So what's the bandwidth you have to guarantee anything or not?
There are no guarantees, sir, if I may speak, but I can tell you that the success rate of application that have come through BDSP than the ones that have come directly. The ones that have come through BDSP is higher.
Okay, the BDSP,
that I can tell you.
Is the business.
We call them business development service providers.
Okay, people like Edward, right?
Yes.
So because they understand the system, they know what you want, and it makes it easier. Not that anything is guaranteed, but at least they'll be able to assess those who can make it and those who can't make it. So I guess that's what they do, so that they give you more of those that will make it. And that's why maybe their success rate is higher than the ordinary person who just walks into BOI. Is that correct?
Very well, Professor. Very well, Professor. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Dr.
Kano, is up.
Yes. Okay, please.
I was trying to ask, there could be ÓKÓBÍ businesses that need more than 10 million naira. Now, my question is, are there leverages attached to this loan that has to do with 10 million as against an ÓKÓBÍ business that wants 100 million, for instance? Are there leverages in this particular 10 million? In other words, what I'm saying is, it might take you more pain to get 100 million based on submissions and so on and so forth. But for the 10 million, it could be less. So that's what I'm trying to know, whether an ÓKÓBÍ business can also access 100 million naira, as the case may be, and what are probably the requirements for such a loan? Is it different from what will be required for this 10 million that has already been budgeted for different states?
So what you're saying that if somebody walks into BOI, are there other products or, instruments they can access beyond this, this particular promotion, right?
Yes.
Okay, Andrew, what are your other products and services?
Yes, we, like I said earlier on, this is a special product. There is an obligor limit of 10 million. And for our products 10 million, of up to 10 million, we can take guarantors as collateral. For the office that we are in, we can lend up to 2 billion naira.
2 billion.
We can lend 2 billion.
Okay.
For the office, right? Anything above 2 billion now goes to a group in our office head office we call large enterprises. So we have those products as outside, but for now that we're discussing Rapid. Rapid is a special intervention. Obligor limit is 10%, interest rate is 5%. If you come walk in, you will not get a 5% loan.
Okay, sorry, Andrew, in the interest of time, so our listeners are there. Can they reach out to you directly if they need to contact somebody at BOI?
Yes, please.
So is it possible to give out your number then, if you don't mind?
Yes, please, I can.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'll just send it into the chat group right now so that...
not everybody is here because our listeners are online on radio, right? So if you can call it, that would be very much appreciated.
Okay, 080 3307 0547.
Okay, do you want to say that again, please?
080 3307 0547.
Okay, thank you. And somebody have also asked if we are a cooperative, can members act as guarantors for others?
We say like I said earlier, it's collective guarantee. Yes, that works too.
Okay, so that's the question from Venerable Dr. Paul Mosu. He asks about that. So we already answered the question about somebody who is acting. How are we sure that the loan will be guaranteed after it's been, if it's gone through the business development service provider? So it's not guaranteed, but the business service provider understands the issues, and he or she is likely to guide you better than you just dabbling into it. But Andrew and Chibuzo, what are the areas? Say, for example, if I'm into water production, water business, will I qualify? So if I'm bottling water, right? So that would, if I need an equipment, so that will count, wouldn't it?
Of course.
That's packaging. Packaging is a process.
Okay.
Okay.
So off the cuff, can you name some of the areas you think will fit into this?
Okay. Offhand, I will tell you agro processing. So anything like with overflowed palm oil, rice processing, cassava processing, any form of food processing. So if, for instance, I make drinks, ice cream, fine. Fashion. Okay, you are into converting cloth material into dresses, singlets, boxers. Of course, we can do that for you. Okay, so there are many areas. So far, you are doing something productive, something that converts a particular raw material into some form of finished product that is reasonable or that is useful to people. Fine.
Okay, what if I'm into digital business? Because Imo State is training a lot of people in digital skills, right? So what if they want to buy computers and other things to translate their ideas into practice through technology?
Of course, we do support the ICT. If they have good business ICT ideas that they can convert into money, fine.
Okay, so they can also come to you for this particular rapid program.
Within the ambits of the fund, yes.
Okay, that's brilliant. So Prof, do you have just last comment, because we are running against time as usual? I can also see Dr. Kanukwem's hand up. Is it a legacy?
Thank you, Prof. Thanks. Just to thank Andrew and his colleagues. I think they've done something offering us 5%, because I know for a while now, my office, the ISIPA, has been trying to work with BOI, but the rate has been putting our people off. So let's see what we can do with this 5%. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. And then Dr. Kanukwem, please.
Yeah, it's been a very wonderful time today. You know, all the while we've been discussing ÓKÓBÍ, and we've never really discussed the funding. Bringing BOI into this is a very wonderful thing that we have done. And I sincerely would want to ask you, Prof, if it is possible, we can reinvite them again on this program, because I know there are so many more questions to ask to enable people to understand how they can approach the bank. Thank you.
Okay, that would be great. Unfortunately, they won't definitely invite them, but this is particularly for this rapid program targeting medium-sized and small businesses, as well as group-owned enterprises, the ÓKÓBÍ business. So I'm wondering if Jovita has anything to say from the office before we wrap up. At least give her the number. People can contact us if we want to support them in any way.
Okay, yeah, we've been taking a lot of inquiries from people trying to reach us. So we encourage them to keep the inquiries coming, so we can direct them to the appropriate people, and whereby we can help them, we'll be able to help them in any way we can to make sure that this, becomes quite success, or they become successful, with the applications. So to reach the office, you can call on 0911 436 0076. I'll take that again, 0911 436 0076. And then on WhatsApp, 090 11 58 9113. WhatsApp again, 090 11 58 9113. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's it for us today. And I thank the panelists again. Very interesting conversation. Andrew and Chibuzo from Bank of Industry, Chioma Perpetua, a farmer and a business person, as well as Edward, who represents the Bank of Industry as a business development service provider in Owerri. I also thank my co-moderators, Professor Jude Nzako and Dr. K. Anokwem. I also thank my office members, Mrs. Jovita Agu, Adeza Shaheme, Adeza Waka, for putting this together. And thank you, everyone. Please, if you are not part of ÓKÓBÍ, register today, form a group. The opportunities are many, and we'll be presenting them to you from time to time. As in the So those who have registered, this is your chance. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brothers. And the radio should think they